in now or after the live, I greatly appreciate you tuning in. We do have a very important live this evening. Welcome in, XRP Stu. We'll cover this leading into the daily close. I'll stick around, until I feel like I've done my job. We'll see what kind of interaction we have, and we'll see what kind of back and forth I can have with the audience. If you are tuning in, Jorge, welcome in, my friend. Please make sure to hit that like button and consider sharing this on social media to help our footprint grow, help us go through the algorithm and the analytics, and allow more people to reach this fine community. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but every time I log on to YouTube, it tries to do that, but that's okay. David Robinson, good evening. Matt Holden, Sam, Tanya, welcome in, love. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me timestamp this very quickly. Brad Jones, good evening. JW, howdy, my friend. Welcome in, mate. Marcus Wingfield, good evening. Mark Sintic, good evening, everybody. Hey, Tom, hey to you as well. Rock and XRP Painter, glad you're here. Capo, welcome in. Mr. Mac, welcome with the 2-year badge. Dilly7 Layard, welcome in. Tomcat, indeed. Randall, good evening from Naples, Florida. Beautiful, sunny Naples, Florida. Can't say the same here, but still feels pretty good. Hold on, I'll be right back. Thank you very much. Be safe out there. Thank you. All right, sorry about that. So let me timestamp this real quickly. Derek, welcome in. Herbert, Justin, Eric, good evening. Marcus, welcome in. You trying to light your split? Yes. Yeah. Actually, I just had some delivered to me, so had to keep the cannabis. First time I've ordered in a while, so we'll see. What can we expect from the Fed meeting tomorrow? Some more optics. But I'll cover the Fed tomorrow. The Fed's it's a mind-numbing thing, so we'll cover it tomorrow. Today we'll focus on XRP, but we can go over maybe a little bit of the Fed. We talked BUSD yesterday, Eric. I did a whole live dedicated to it yesterday with BUSD going down on December 15th. I actually did about an hour live, or about 50-minute live yesterday. So I covered it very strong. But for tonight, I'm going to cover XRP. So good evening, 6:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, November 30th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. It's actually December 14th here in the USA. 14th, 15th, okay. End of month XRP being released from escrow, price movement. You're going to get some movement at 12 a.m. Sometime between 12 and 2 a.m. You're going to get about 4 separate transactions that'll be involved with Ripple, releasing $1 billion from escrow every single month we deal with this. And it just so happens that this month we have a Deatchross out in front of it. And now it's one of those things. Is this coming up for a resistance here in the 4-hourly? Because everybody keeps asking me, Tom, what's going to happen next? Well, it all depends on this exact rotation we're in right now. With that Deatchross happening, first layer of a bad sign here would be to close under that 60. I'll say 605, just because of where we're at. I would like to see it actually 606. I'd like to see it close at least over 606 and stay on top of this formation, this uptrend. But ultimately, you don't want to be below 608 for any length of time. With that Deatchross, for anybody who doesn't know, that's the 20 crossing the 200. So basically, the way I'll explain this to everybody, so you have buyers from 20 days out. Wasn't worth it for them to hold. Buyers from 50 days out. Wasn't worth it for them to hold. Buyers from 100 days out. They still wasn't worth it for them to hold or buy, let's say, to continue. And now the 20-day buyers, you see it flipping through. That means they're also starting to sell. So from 20 to 200 days out, it's signaling that we could have a big drop here. But as we know, a Deatchross is a lagging indicator. So the entirety of the move could have already happened now that the Deatchross has happened, and you might just consolidate and then move out. Now, if this plays true and this inversion doesn't play out, this inverted head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, if this doesn't play out, it's already giving us a foregone conclusion that 58 cents, more than in a 90% probability, would not hold that strong structure. And it would come back down to like 55 cents. It's already showing us. We've already built strength here. If we're going to break out, it's got to hold this structure. If we're going to break down, it's certainly going to come on through this structure. We had a descending channel leading into this, which I deleted it off here because it's too confusing to have the descending channel for some. And then you've got the newfound formation that it's starting. Let me go into the daily. You can't do this in the 4-hourly if you want to do it properly. It's not possible. But actually, I'm not gonna spread it over here because now that it's doing the sideways consolidation, that downward channel is irrelevant. It's this sideways consolidating in this channel it formed. And this uptrend that it started, this is to invalidate that death cross before it starts in the 4-hourly. The only way to invalidate this is to hold this structure. If you don't hold this structure, this bear flag's all but played out. And now if it gets a rejection here, we can measure the bear flag. We certainly can. I won't even go from up here because I don't want to ruin anybody's day. We'll just go from here. It's still going to ruin days if it breaks down. I mean, there's no way around that. But let's just say you break down from here. I mean, you're looking at a solid drop. That's 57 cents right there. Just on that. So that's on a generous spot. That's a generous spot. You know, so there's a lot of room to come down here if it breaks this structure. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. I'm not one to sugarcoat it to begin with. I like to be more blunt, and if people hate me for it, so be it. But right here, there's no reason to sugarcoat this. If this plays out as a bear flag, we will know. 606 will be unattainable at the daily close. I mean, if this plays out like this, that's a M-topping reversal when it gets there. Boom, boom, back to the boom. I mean, it's a very common pattern. I don't think I'm showing you anything you've never seen, right? So if that happens, conversely, if it uses this as support, you could have a nice W reversal out of here. And then if you do that, then you're talking about off to the races. But that's in the 4-hourly. If you even look at the daily, oops, I think I just deleted my own chart. See, this time it was my fault. That was not on TradingView, and I refuse to blame them if I did it myself. So TradingView did not do that. I did that, so don't hold that against them. That was my own mistake. But fixed it now. 6064. So we are trying to show some strength here. And we very well could put in a hammer candle if this comes up any farther. As I've talked about, if this pulls back somehow to 608, this could, I mean, the fact we're above that 604 is a great sign. It's a great sign that we at least pulled back up. But there's a lot of possibilities. And like Miss Vicky said, who could actually know until it happens? The only way we can actually understand what could possibly play out is by having the proper formations. By having the proper formations, we can at least stay out in front of the move before it happens. So if it does break down, we'd be targeting a move back down to the 200-day. I think it's pretty common knowledge for everybody who watches me. A daily gets rejected at the 20 on a pattern reversal. And now it starts trending back down in the opposite direction. You're going to have to come back down to the 200-day. There's not anything in between. There's a reason why the chart is lined up so perfectly and the 200 runs through there. The pattern's predicting what's about to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to predict it to the downside, ladies and gentlemen. You could very well have a prediction to the top side as well, but we need this to play out. I'm very transparent. I would love to see a year-end rally. The reason why I updated my chart is so that nobody would be left out in the cold. Thinking, oh, it broke out of the descending channel. Now we're using it as support, the sideways consolidation. It's all gravy. The sideways consolidation is actually the hardest part to break out of. The longer it goes sideways, the less of a chance there is, and the more of a chance to suggest an elongated right arm. Now, if it wants to have a nice spike of volume, this is where it needs to come in. It needs it. Mo says, good evening. Good evening, Mo, and thanks for being in Tom's Army in month 1. I greatly appreciate that show of support. I know you are in month 1 because it's me being abducted by aliens on that emoji badge. You too could get yours if you're watching. 83 watching, 55 likes. Keep it up. Beautiful. Even on a bearish day, we still have 83 people watching. Please make sure to hit that like button, as it will definitely help push this community through the algorithm. Oh, you better believe I'll be talking about or watching Jerome Powell live when he has his press conference. Oh, yes. That'll be, the midday market report will evolve or revolve around Jerome Powell. I might even do a separate midday market report for like 10 minutes and then cover, you know, Jerome Powell in his own live. But I will definitely be covering Jerome Powell. Definitely. I would assume Bob would probably have a better chance of an appearance when Jerome's speaking. That is for sure. But the Deatchross, yeah, if it fails, you're looking firm at a retest down around 55 cents. It actually works out very well in this level because the 200-day runs right through 55 cents. So you can't make this stuff up. And that's targeted at about December 2nd if that happens. So that's only 48 hours from now, roughly. Maybe a little longer. Well, rockin' XRP Painter, I greatly appreciate you bringing me up, even though Tom won't. Bob, it's not that I won't bring you up. It's just that sometimes you go off the rail. Well, Tom, it's kind of hard not to go off the rail. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's very confusing. That's why we keep it simple here, Bob, and we talk about it each and every day so that we can stay in front of it. And then if it does break down or break out, we already know our targets. Well, Tom, you know, that is pretty thoughtful, but still, I just don't have the attention span. You and most others, Bob. That's okay. Yes, please hit the like button and share. I'd greatly appreciate it. Just got here. What did I miss? Robbie Sosa, thank you so much for tuning in. And I greatly appreciate you as well being in month 1 of Tom's Army. Taking that leap and joining Tom's Army. Showing that trust. But I know Bob has to make his appearances somehow. One time, Bob's going to have his own personality, and it'll happen, but it's going to take some time. Donald Trump would sort the economy. I don't talk politics. Whether I like or hate Trump, and it's not the latter, or it's not the second response. I actually don't mind Trump, as you know. But I don't like politics, because whether you're right or left, nobody's controlling the economy. Trump didn't do a good job. He expanded the money supply just like everybody else. He did a good job with real wages, but he didn't do a good job with expanding the money supply. That is exactly why we're at where we're at, accompanied with Biden and Obama and the rest. But he's for the worker. That's the difference. But just politics in itself, I don't like to go down that road, because the central banks run the world, and whether you think Obama, whether you think Trump, whether you think Biden or Harris or whoever these losers are that you think besides Trump, I don't think he's a loser, actually. I think he's genuine. Just, you know, when you're controlled opposition, you can only do so much. So, but yeah, so I'm going to get off that topic, but the central banks are what you need to pay attention to. Don't get caught up in the hearsay. So, XRP, like we're saying, and JW keeps me on track. I know when he says something, I know I better tune it back, because he has my best interest at heart when it comes to possibly being, you know, saying the wrong things. And whenever I get towards a touchy subject, he'll just make a comment, and I'm so appreciative for it. So appreciative for it. Yes, the Deatchross, if validated, means that this bear flag, and this is a bottoming pattern, which means, or it's topping out, which means the pattern hasn't bottomed yet on this rotation. So if we do get the rejection here at 606, would be a great indicator. But at any point, if you see this 4-hourly reject 606, watch out for a move back down in the daily. And I don't want to scare anybody with Bitcoin, but I'm going to show you what could emerge as a huge problem now that I know what MicroStrategies did. And it makes sense why we're seeing what we're seeing now. So 55 cents would be your target. So let's say, Janae, let's say that we reject here, because you're absolutely right saying that this is a topping out pattern if this is confirmed. And then you'd have to at least, at minimum, and this is at minimum, you drop 9.4% at minimum. But does anybody believe it would hold that part of the rotation, or would we just come back down to 52? So 9.6% minimum with an upward trajectory of a 14% drop if we lose this. Conversely, if you can get above, you're looking at a 6.96% rally after a 4.6, and then ultimately you're probably looking to try to see if you're bearish or bullish at this area, about 23% up. That's a 40% swing from swing low to swing high if this happens. So, thing that worries me a little bit, if I'm being optimistic with XRP and Bitcoin, the thing that worries me just a tad bit, one, Michael Saylor admitting, or not Michael Saylor anymore, MicroStrategies admitting that they bought 500 and something million dollars worth of Bitcoin, over 16,000 Bitcoin this month. That means there was nothing transcending about this uprise. The only thing that happened this month with that 10% move is the world's largest holder of Bitcoin bought an even more absurd amount of Bitcoin. I mean, that's unfortunately, that's the truth. You didn't get any new money in here. You just got somebody who was willing to buy more and bring his price up more. I don't understand it. So this is a massive broadening wedge, and please let me know what you think. Do you think we've actually formed a bigger broadening wedge with this last about 15 days of consolidation, and now we've expanded a massive broadening wedge, in my opinion, which could bring you down some 48% if it did fail and it came to the bottom? That's 21,000. Now, a break out of this, you wouldn't likely stop at 42,000. If you break out of this massive broadening wedge, you're looking somewhere around 47,500 if you can validate that first leg up. Now, can we validate it? That is the question of all questions, ladies and gentlemen. That is the question of all questions. Can we validate a move and try to push up? So XRP closed at, somebody said 606. That's a good sign. 606. Ladies and gentlemen, we closed literally with barely any room to spare. At least today's daily, we closed ourselves on the top side. I mean, like I said, barely, because it's right on the line, which is why you want 608. But it met the minimum of 606. Now we need some pressure to the top side. We need a lot of pressure to the top side, but this was one of those closes where it doesn't tell you anything. You're right on the line. You're basically, if you're playing basketball, you're on the rejection line. Hold on, I gotta go tell Julie it's time for her to leave. Hold on one sec. Julie, it's time. Oh, ha! See, it shows my age. I completely forgot it was Thursday, so there's nowhere for her to go. That's tomorrow. So, well, at least I was being thoughtful to try to remind her. But yeah, this doesn't really tell us a lot. We closed right at 606. Like, if we closed at 608, I would have been happier. But with that being said, could that be an inverted hammer candle, ladies and gentlemen? That's the hope. That was the hope of closing it at 606 or higher, that we could form a hammer candle and invalidate the structure. The problem is we have the 1 billion release from escrow at about 12 a.m. on the East Coast. I mean, it is what it is. And it'll likely be 4 separate installments. Now, is that going to be a liquidity grab? Now, what I always say is they're going to be a quick move up real quick. Oh, it's been released now already? Has it really? That is quick. I don't remember the last time it was released this quick. You like the inverted hammer? Me too, Miss Vicky. Me too. This is good, though, if they've already released. Well, I'm not. Allegedly, they've released it, and I have no reason not to trust Justin. He's very respectable here, so I tend to believe what he's saying. I just want to pull it up for everybody to see. He said 500 million, 300 million, and 200 million. Do you have where you found that at? Did you find it on because it probably won't have anything on here. Oh, okay, Twitter, that makes sense. Or X, Twitter, whatever. All right, thank you very much for that. We're going to go on this right now. This is big news, and if this has already happened and we held 606, this would be a phenomenal test of strength if we can continue this on today's daily. I'll be honest with you. So I'm assuming it'll be on Ripple's X. Oh, somebody must have shared it because they don't have it on here. Oh, what the hell? Ripple unlocks 1 billion XRP promises that was September 1st, June 1st. Oh, whale alert. I don't know this. All right, here we go. So whale alert. Thank you so much. I don't know why I'm not following this page. I used to. I'll just, all right. So here's the whale alert right now. So thank you for this. Thank you for this. What is all this nonsense? Give a shit about that. So it says 300 million XRP worth $180,605,971 unlocked from escrow at Ripple. 4 minutes ago, a second one of 200 million, $120,403,980 unlocked from escrow at Ripple. And then 2,000 Bitcoin 44 minutes ago, 75,322,000 were transferred from Gemini to unknown wallet. Interesting. So Bitcoin, 2,000 Bitcoin were bought and transferred from Gemini to an unknown wallet. Or, I mean, it might not have been bought, but it's transferred. Interesting. And then 500 million right here was 5 minutes ago, $301.009 million unlocked from escrow at Ripple. So, as Justin said, and thank you so much, Justin, Ripple has already unlocked, supposedly from Whale Alert, 3 separate transactions, 500 million, 300 million, and 200 million XRP respectively, unlocked from Ripple for their daily escrow. I mean, all I put on here for this, I don't ever share it, but I just put on my updates and stuff. It's XRP Future Millionaire. Or XRP Future 222, whichever. It's 1,100 people are following it. I'm not exactly sure how they found it, because I never talked about it on my YouTube. But it's just something I put there. So if anybody wants to see my updates when they come out, you don't have to rely on YouTube. Yes, Michael Saylor. Well, you can't say Michael Saylor. You have to say MicroStrategy now, seeing that he stepped down last year or earlier this year, even though, let's face it, we know what we're talking about. But they bought 16,000 Bitcoin worth like 586 million. It's 100% legit, Justin. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for keeping us out ahead. This is, when I say the importance when I go live of the audience dictates a lot of what I do. We have a very, very educated audience, and I like to do it through the power of positivity, the power of unity, you know, and I like us all to be on the same page. And Justin, like, that's a tremendous, tremendous find you already have for us, because I don't usually look for the escrow drop until 12 a.m. my time. So the fact you've already got me out ahead of this, as we can see from Whale Alert, and thank you, Justin. Give him a little thank you if you can in the comments, because that was looking out for the community. 500 million, and this is just 6 minutes ago while I was live, so I wouldn't have been able to see this otherwise. 500 million XRP for $301,009,952 USD. 5 minutes ago. 7 minutes ago, we had 300 million XRP, $180,605,971 unlocked from escrow at Ripple. And then 7 minutes ago, the first of the 3 transactions, 200 million XRP for $120,403,980 unlocked from escrow at Ripple, equaling our 1 billion unlocked from escrow. And then on top of that, we know not Michael Saylor, but we know MicroStrategies bought 16,000 Bitcoin. And here, let me, Tanya, good evening, welcome. And let me give Tanya some credit too, because she shared this morning. Tanya shared this. MicroStrategy, and it ended up being validated now through multiple sources. MicroStrategy purchased an additional 16,130 Bitcoin, 593.3 million. Now, I would have liked them, Watcher.Guru, have done their homework and actually not made it look like it was on one purchase. This was throughout the entire month of November. So remember, this wasn't one purchase. Through the entire month of November, they've added 593 million in Bitcoin. That's not on a 1-to-1 ratio. That's through the entire month. That's what I've gotten out of it by, you know, kind of breaking it down and trying to get a true look of exactly what transpired. But a total of over 16,000 Bitcoin was purchased for over $580 million during the month by MicroStrategies. On top of that, 2,000 Bitcoin worth $75,322,095 USD was transferred from Gemini to unknown wallet 48 minutes ago. So what exactly is going on? Solana, look at this, 1 hour ago. Solana, 1.5 million worth 89.374 million transferred from unknown wallet to unknown wallet. And then we had a whale alert of 1,500 Solana worth 89.363 million transferred from an unknown wallet to unknown wallet. I mean, look at all this stuff. Whale alert, XRP, 26 million XRP worth $15,628,395 transferred from an unknown wallet to unknown wallet 3 hours ago. Messy, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not. What do you mean? Where's the rest? Whale alert, 9 minutes ago, 500 million XRP. There's a 500,000. 9 minutes ago, 300 million. There's 800 million. 10 minutes ago, 200. There's a billion. Not sure the question. But there's your 10, 9, and 7 minutes ago. So there's your 1 billion. It's not debatable. There's your 1 billion. If you missed it, I just showed you it again, but there's no debate. The 1 billion's right there. But I mean, honestly, the FTX liquidators may be selling. That's interesting. Oh, Johnson, send me an email. strutrugali@gmail.com. strutrugali@gmail.com. That's right. That's strutrugali@gmail.com. No, you're no problem, Messi. I was just kind of making an overall point to everybody who's watching. I appreciate the question, though, because you helped me be able to, show it again. XLM could be bull flaggy here. I know it doesn't look like it, but this could be a step of a bull flag. And if we can somehow push out of this and get back above here and all of a sudden use 12 cents as support, we shouldn't have any problem coming up to 12.6. And then the next major rally would be up to 8 to 15 plus cents. Something don't smell right here. Something don't smell right here. With the fact they have the printing presses open, the fact the Fed doesn't have to pay taxes anymore, I find it hard to believe with an expanding money supply that they're only going to put into the stock market. You're telling me in risk assets, they're not going to take some of that money and throw it into, I don't know, Bitcoin, some of the altcoins, knowing that they're tax exempt now and don't have to pay that 35% outrageous short-term tax? I would think they're going to find a home in crypto as well with the risk assets and pump this thing up. It's starting to look that way across the board. Gold for the first time tomorrow can close the monthly over 2,000 for the first time ever. Ever. Let me repeat that. Ever. Gold has never closed the monthly over 2,000. Ever. I mean, what's going on here? The DXY, of course, crypto was a little down today. The DXY did what we talked about yesterday, and it looks like it's going to come back up and try to retest where we circled that 105 spot 18. It's not a guarantee, but if I was a betting man, I would say it's probably going to come for a rejection around the 200 day. Oh, well, it's easy. Miss Tanya, who do they own it to? The central banks. The central... Ooh, hit this. The central banks. Yes, we will. It is all about the U.S. dollar, 100%. 100%. The 200-day is the GOAT. It sure is. But that's what I really wanted to cover on today's episode. So, is everybody on the same page? We see how tricky this is, even on these descending channels. These are attempting massive breakouts. I've showed this with DGB a ton of times, and I'll show you one more time with this descending structure. Even if you do it like this, we're attempting a breakout with DGB, and you can see, if you actually look at it like this, that was, if you wanted to have like a drawn out pattern, that's how you could have looked at it. And now we're on the top side of it. So if we hold 747, DGB's well overdue for a run up to 1 cent. Well under ones. Well under. I actually just got new stuff. This is the old. This is just my stuff right here. This was just my stuff. This is a this is just a Kush plant. So this is straight Kush. I grew it outside. It was more on appearance. It looks more indica, just by the way of the leaves, the thickening of the leaves. There wasn't very thin leaf structure. It was very compacted bud. So if I was saying, without knowing, because I grew it from seed, and just going based off of what I see from my own perspective and like what I've learned over the decades of doing this, it's an indica and it's a Kush. Straight Kush though. I didn't expand. But that is really what I wanted to talk about today. I'm very happy with the way this update went. Tanya's in here, so I would like to show H-bar real quick. 603. And Tanya, pay attention. Remember what we talked about before? The criticalness in this pattern right now. If it comes back down, the only thing we can't afford to lose is this 573. That's it. That's it. It's all we can't afford to lose. And everybody, I know everybody always asks a bunch of questions. If you appreciate me bouncing around, if you appreciate my work, nobody sent the YouTube Super Chat tonight, so you could always send a YouTube Super Chat. You could join Tom's Army. You could hit that like button and share it and say, hey, Tom, I shared it. I shared this for you. All of it means the same to me, whether it's financial, whether it's support from hitting that like button. Today we've got 89 likes, 101 people watching, so 12 people that are in here right now could hit that like button. It's all about, is the 12% going to do the work that I do? And I'd like to believe we will, so I'm going to cover both of them. I'm going to cover H-bar and Casper for my friends. So H-bar has this golden cross, and right now, look at these bottom side wicks in the daily. It is not giving up this 20-day without a fight. This is what you want to see on a golden cross. We really don't want to see it come all the way down. Oh, when I said I believed everybody was going to do it, I believed everybody would hit that like button. I thought we'd get to 101 or at least close to those likes. I didn't mean financial compensation. Wow. Thank you so much for that, CJ2 Pilot, with the $10 donation. And he's in month 2 of Tom's Army now. Congratulations on continuing being in Tom's Army for the second month. That's the emoji badge of Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News, the one who put this channel down in the beginning. But we showed them who's boss. Miss Vicky, yes, indeed. They're so generous. Joshua Gerardo, thank you so much for the $3.99. What a spectacular audience we have here. So, do we think that this is more likely to break out or break down with H-bar? That's why I keep saying something doesn't smell right. Remember, we have the golden cross with XRP in the weekly as well. Something doesn't seem right here, folks. We're converging. We're holding the 200. The daily signaling some strength here. We're not breaking down yet. It's going to be interesting. Devin, your 2 larger bags. Andy sends a $4.99 donation just because he's so appreciative that I'm going to cover H-bar and Casper. It was unnecessary, but also necessary at the same time, I suppose. Thank you so much. It's never unnecessary. Let me rephrase that. Seeing somebody pay it forward like that and the times we're in is truly, it means a lot to me. I can't even stress it enough. So as long as we hold this, we're going to get this nice bounce up to 7-1 and a consolidation, in my opinion, to 6-7-8. As long as this holds. Now, a real cool jump up would be if we just came all the way up here and used this 8-3 as support, but I don't see that happening. I see it's going to have to do it in segments. But also, that's a wide W there. I mean, there's a lot to be happy about here. There's a golden cross here in the daily that has not given back, and that's a wide spacing. It almost looks like it's trying to use the 20-day for a further bounce up, and ultimately, we're just trying to get back into this rising channel here. If we get into the rising channel, we open the door to a move up to about 8-3. It's going to be fantastic. Honestly, this I'm not interested in because that's going to confuse people with the pivot point. Forget that pivot point if we come to this side of the rising channel. So that's going to be something to see. And Casper yesterday was trying to work on a reversal. It looks like it's done pretty well in this W reversal. Even today, it didn't give it back. It has an inverted hammer here on the candle close. Yeah, this looks fantastic. I mean, it's not quite an inverted hammer because we came down a little too far. But look how nice we pulled back up. We're going to be fighting right now with the 200-day. Even if we get rejected, I would be surprised if it doesn't hit 3.6 in the short term. And then if we get on top of 3.6, we're okay. We're using Right now, we're over the 200. We're about to have a golden cross here as long as we stay over this in the next... I would estimate if we're over 3, 4, 5, we should be able to complete this golden cross in the next 2 to 3, 4 hours. If we get over 3, 6 or above in the next candle, this should... Next candle or two, it would be complete. If we get over 4 cents, it's going to complete right away. We're up to 397. But this looks like we've broken out. We've confirmed the breakout. Even at a big liquidity flush, this looks like it's getting ready. Casper looks like it's getting ready. And I'm so thankful for everybody that bought the over 10,000 tokens of Casper on FOMO Fridays. In this rotation down here, we would not buy it if it broke the rotation. It's been fantastic. So thank you, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave it at that before I wear out my welcome. I think we've done a tremendous job here tonight. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you so much, Sean, for the praise on tonight's update. I thought it was fire as well. We could see it drop to 57 cents, but you would have to get a rejection first at 586. A rejection at 586, you could feasibly see a rejection. It's going to be hard to get it down there that quickly, but in the 4 hourly, just pay attention. It happens fast if you get a rejection. I do like that this looks like an inverted hammer. If we can pull up and break the 200-day at 608 and start the next 4 hourly, I like our odds. If we break down and use this 605, especially that 605 underneath on the overextended into the resistance, if we use that as resistance, it's going to be quick. You have 58 cents, about 583 underneath, and then after that, it's straight to 55. So can it happen in the 24 hours? It's not unfeasible. Who the heck is this? I guess I scared them. They pulled into my driveway. Maybe they were just turning around. I said, who the heck is this? And they floored in reverse. Because somebody pulled up behind Julie's car, and it's like, I mean, I always have protection on me no matter what. And I'm not one for violence, but, you know, you always have to have something if you're out in the dark. And I like where I live, but I'm not going to carry a piece on me right now. I'm outside. But I definitely have personal protection on me at all times. So, you know, you always want to make sure you have something in hidden sight, just in case. You never know. You never know. Centerline's not that far away from me, which Detroit is not also that far away from me. You hit the right bus, you're here within about 30 minutes, 25 minutes from Detroit. So, but I'm XRP Future Millionaire nonetheless. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscription button if you appreciate my work. Join the other, was it 19,200 plus subscribers, about 19,300. We're at like that point where it goes from 19.2 to 19.3 because it's right at the border of 19.3. One day it's one over, the next day it's one under. So for now, we're over 19,000 on our journey to 20,000. If you want to pay it forward, you can always send a YouTube Super Chat or join Tom's Army. If you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, that is in the video description below. You get the ways that I trade XRP, whether you're futures or spot trading, where I get the lowest spot fees. And not because I'm part of some partnership with anybody, just because that's what the exchanges offer, and that's what you'll get too. Thank you all so much. Stay blessed. And Justin, thank you very much for putting us on the right track, that the 1 billion was already released from Ripple, from escrow. That's right. It was already released in 3 separate transactions.